So I start with all of that because you have to understand that the magnitude of the lies is just so enormous. The Lancet is probably the world's most famous medical journal, all right? New England Journal of Medicine is probably second most famous, JAMA, third most famous. So sometime around April, I think, the Lancet published this study that concluded that hydroxychloroquine wasn't safe. This threw the world into a tizzy. Based on this article, the WHO stopped hydroxychloroquine trials across the world. The European Union stopped allowing hydroxychloroquine. That was the reason that the headlines trashed the president as calling it snake oil. They had the cover of the Lancet saying it was bad. Now, the Lancet study that said it was bad had like 90,000 people in it, and took place on 5 continents, and it just didn't really make sense. There was a group of independent doctors who looked at this data and said, there's no way you have 90,000 patients enrolled in a trial across 5 continents and nobody ever heard of this thing. It wasn't credible. So these independent doctors got together and they kind of forced it, and they forced the issue. And the Lancet ended up retracting the study, which is once in a generation or once in a lifetime sort of event. You can't be published in the Lancet by accident. There's many, many layers to it. It just simply can't happen. It was complete fraud that was published. But the damage was done because all across the world, hydroxychloroquine trials have been halted and it was very badly maligned. That's where we're coming from. Why do we know? We know that that was fraud. They've admitted they were fraud. If you go right now to the internet, you can type in the Lancet study on hydroxychloroquine and it'll pop up retracted, okay? Now, why do I say, so that was like level number 1 of the corruption, where the scientists themselves were being corrupted. Level number 2, though, is the media lying. How do we know they're lying and not just misinformed or ill-informed themselves? Well, because when it was retracted, they buried the story of it being retracted. You have to really struggle to find that information.